Gunpla Reviews, where it is myself versus my shelf. Over 200 model kits and a queue of reviews to do. I really do thank everyone for sticking around with me for this long. I finally hit over 200 subscribers. I am so proud of myself for my hard work. But for those of you new here, thank you. This series is a sort of challenge to review everything that is on my shelf. As you can see, I have a very elaborate collection. But not just that, but to also keep in light old model kits, because there are always new builders, always reprints, and always questions about whether or not old kits are good. So I will do my best to at least give you information, if not an opinion. Today's challenger, the final one in this round, is the GF13001 NH2 Master Gundam with Funseki Neo Hong Kong Mobile Fighter from Mobile Fighter G Gundam, made in the year of our Bandai Lords, 2011. 2011 was really a big year for a lot of G Gundam kits. I imagine God Gundam also came out that year, and I can only presume that Nobel did. I don't recall hit that review because I certainly did cover it. We're going to take a look at the manual in a different way without me talking. So with that covered, I do want to flip back to a page and show you one thing that I no longer have for this model, and it's this effect part here. As you can see, it's very strange. Part A6 has two notes that you can either cut there, and what you'll get is a very, very clear effect part of Master Asia with the beam scarf, or you can cut it differently and have him with a Gundam sized beam scarf. I no longer actually have the Master Asia side of things. It was lost to the annals of time. So, picking up our gentleman here, we have the full Master Gundam. Got a few stickers here and there. A very tiny one up here in the camera. The typical eyes. Another one back here as for the rear camera. We got two for the chest vents here. And then several as color corrections. What is happening? Something isn't right. Those weren't positioned correctly. Ha ha ha. And this is why I proudly call myself a plebeian, because I make simple mistakes, such as those also being on the wrong side. But it's all good. We're going to have to get those out of the way. Anyway, so, looking at the head, you do get a bit of up and down here, some side waggle. Unfortunately, due to the shape of the head, the collar, that chin piece is going to bump on the collar, preventing too much left and right. At the arm here, you've got good shoulder movement. Get the head out of the way, you get full rotation there. arm up to side before we pop it out of socket. Traditional bicep rotation. And about 145 on elbow bend. Hands are on the traditional ball and socket with elbows out, arms to side. That's the extent of your side. At the waist, no crunch, no wiggle, and only this much rotation. My hand is blocking the light. I might need to start moving my light somewhere else. We'll work on that. You have a little bit of wiggle in the side skirts here. Your front skirt is attached. This may have been built in the H before I was separating them, so let's disassemble. And we can see that it is designed to be separated. I just chose not to. Sadly, no butt flap action. We get a kick to the front. Only much back. One knee, full 180 knee bend. At the foot, you get side to side swag, front to back swag. Ankle armor does so. Nice hefty amount of rotation, as a martial artist's foot should be, for powerful dynamic posing. Now, with the master cloth wings, if we attach them to the correct side, we'll go ahead and just put one on for now. You get to rotate it inward. This can go flat out, very high up, very high down. A nice hefty range of motion, as well as rotation. That shouldn't have happened. Now that we've got both wings on, we're going to set him down and discuss, perhaps, if he will stand, not articulation, accessories. Alright, with the lights slightly adjusted, the camera should autofocus to show one holding hand for the aforementioned beam effect part. That is the master cloth. This is the sort of hand that separates. Oh, I thought I set that down, but it stuck to my finger. See, this wouldn't be me if I wasn't making on-camera mistakes. Because I like to imagine that my casual handling is what the everyday builder is going to experience. So, there you go. It's a little wobbly. It's still got a nub mark on there, but this is something that I built in the age before I was sanding. You've probably seen several nub marks before. So you have that. Along with those open hands there, you will also get a pair of very explicit hands for a very deliberate pose. Those of you that remember G Gundam will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm almost going to drop that hand there. One left, one right. He also comes with the tradition. At least I have a box down there that makes it easier to catch and they don't go off. 2 clear hands, the same effect part as the beam, as well as, similar to the Shining Gundam, the Darkness Finger effect part. You might recognize these hands as something that I was using along with my Berserk Nobel. And our next accessory is the Bull Cowl Master Cloth. This is several pieces. Of course, there's more stickers on here to operate or engage with. You'll have you take your shoulder pieces off here and separate it in. Well, there's another piece to take off there. I guess this part actually isn't supposed to come apart. I am the fool. It doesn't hurt that it comes apart. It's just that's not necessary because there is a ball joint inside of there that we will engage with later. This splits And optionally, you have an open piece here. Unfortunately, it does not mirror on both sides. So we're going to have to take, I believe, the entirety of these pieces off. The entirety, you have to include that that connection piece to the backpack there. And peel that out. Keep that hand to side as much as possible. And in this case, we're going to bend this hand out just right. Starting with the back piece, you're going to slide those two pegs around under the arms. And if you remove pieces correctly, make sure these poly caps are facing the back, because they will plug into these pegs up here. So once more with feeling, it helps keep everything in. I know they fit. I know they fit, but this is the curse of the Let's Player. Do it off screen, no problem. Do it on screen, chaos. Inconvenience. Foolishness occurring. There it goes, ticked into place. I'm going to keep this hand in position just like that. The feet don't really matter too much where they're positioned. You will sandwich that together. I hope. Just a matter of getting the arms and the legs may slightly get in the way. I need to do something about these stickers. I could paint this on here, but I hate my yellow Gunpla marker. With this hand exposed, what you'll do is this little clip here is going to go into these little tabs on the shoulder. And I'm going to bring this up to sight in order to engage with it, if you'll pardon me being off screen for a moment. And there we go. It clips in like so. You have a little range of motion, and you have your arm exposed. And to seal it all in, make sure to put this other piece back in. And you have the invincible master cloth. If you like, you can put your other hand in there. And you do get a little bit of range of motion with this piece on, so you can have your hand exposed just as much as you need to. Hand away. Behold. Unfortunately, this leaves your wings and this other piece completely aside. Nothing to do with that. You can, if you like, completely hide that hand away, and it does fit into place. Lastly, and we're going to have to immediately get him right out of place, since I don't want to go over to the shelf and grab anything else. I'll pull this right back out. Leave that as a little mess on the side there. Pop that right back out. Let's set him aside to discuss Funseki, the other half of the model that makes it such a rather thick box. You can see he is a very large boy, but unfortunately he is quite inarticulate. The hind legs do not move. However, you do get articulation in the feet just a little bit. Down here at this joint and a little bit at that joint, but I don't know why, since you can't rotate these at all. The tail also moves a little bit. It comes with its own distinct action base, so I guess if you want to try to finagle the legs around, you probably could get him to stand on his own, but with the hind legs and then the front hooves, you're really not gonna get anything attractive out of that. So he is forever reared up. The front legs do have full rotation. You get some articulation there. another bend here, but nothing at the hooves. The head will also go back and forth, and this is just a regular wire as the reins, which you could take your other holding hand and attach to. The last little bit here is a section in the waist that you could pull out, and I have to be very gentle because years ago I broke this. There is an action-based peg right there so that you may mount whomever you wish to ride the pony. And Master Gundam comes with the standard action-based 3mm peg in there. Pop that right in. Maybe. Again, I have to be gentle because many moons ago I broke that. And there we go. Like so. I have been able to get him in poses in years past where he's balanced perfectly on Foon Psyche, standing. Not something I want to try to do with on camera because that's an adventure unto itself. I'm going to put that back in place. Foon Psyche has a few stickers here. You've got your eyes, symmetrical. You've got this gray piece here, also symmetrical. Each one of the hooves has a gray sticker on the front. And I will tell you that Foon Psyche, as compared to pictures in the manual, is color inaccurate. These pieces here, these yellow bits, as well as up here at the face and the horn, are all white. Red is your only alternate color here outside of the stickers. I've done painting on this. It's a miracle that the yellow marker worked with me so well. So, with all of that covered, I finally decided what I'm going to do with my ranking system as my suggestion to you as to whether or not this kit is worth your dollar. And for the Master Gundam, I say, got a point to where I'm trying to putting stuff over here once I make those graphics. We're going to ace him. Ace is the highest ranking that I can give because it's the sort of thing that I would recommend you, when you find it, if you can find it on the internet out there or in person, I highly suggest picking one up. It's got great articulation still after it being built for 8 or 9 years. It still holds up great. It's not falling apart. It's not flimsy one bit. It's got a very interesting spectrum of accessories. Sadly, I don't have the other part here for the Master Blah. Several hands to go with it. You've got this really cool effect piece for the Darkness Finger. You have option parts, and even though that leaves you with a lot of like extra pieces, you have option parts for full cloak or just wings. And of course you get Foon Psyche, whom is also compatible with your God Gundam or any other 3mm, accessible unit. As well as if you're feeling wild, there's your base for a Centaur right there. You could make a Centaur model kit out of this. So you really do get a lot. It might be a little expensive nowadays. I'm sure there's a reprint, but it's a very thick box, if you're familiar with something like the Silver Bullet. Wait, since I have this in hand, I'm going to knock you down for a second. The box is about this thick. It is a very thick and hefty box. And I really do recommend that, more so if you're a fan of G Gundam. Vote with your dollar for more G Gundam. But so, next time we begin not quite a new shelf, but a revisit to an old one with several new boys that have been added. I thank y'all for watching. And as always,